All right, there we go. All right, guys, come in and grab the textbook on your way in, please. Leo. Patrick. Here. Robin. Here. Amy. Here. Amy. Here. Wanda. Here. Justin. Here. Grace. Here. Vanessa. Here. Gwen. Here. Alice. Here. Minjay. NJ. Here. Rachel. Here. Sher. Here. Anna. Here. Chloe. Here. Abby. Here. Okay. Bella. Here. Leon. Here. And Hannah. All right. Okay, today we start a new unit. We are starting with Asia and we are first looking at South Asia. We're going to be looking at the physical and human geography of South Asia today. If you think South Asia, what countries do you think are part of South Asia? Raise your hands. Yes. India, correct. Yes. What else? What's close to India? Bangladesh, and then there's one more. Pakistan, yes. Indeed. Hold on. India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. So that is the... What flag is that? India. Another one? Pakistan. And Bangladesh. All right. Good stuff. Okay, so today's learning objectives. You need to know key physical and human geography features of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. You need to be able to understand how geography affects population and culture. You need to be able to compare similarities and differences between these three countries. And you need to be able to work collaboratively to discuss and analyze geographic challenges. We have 4 key vocabulary terms for today, namely monsoon, delta, migration, and urbanization. All right, so let's get into it. As a starter activity, before I start lecturing too much, I need you guys to do a bit of thinking by yourselves. So, in pairs, so you and the person next to you, what comes to mind when you hear the term South Asia? Think about climate, think about population, think about the culture, think about the landscapes or any famous places that you know. You can use page 596 to 597 of the textbook for reference. And starting now, I will give you 4 minutes. After that, I will call upon you to mention something that you have learned or something that you already know about South Asia. Four minutes, yeah? And discuss with the person next to you. You guys can be a group of 3. Yes. I'm not Putra. Okay, let me pick a group. Okay, Amy, what did you guys think, or what did you discuss when you thought of South Asia?
It's like very densely populated.
Very densely populated,
like
correct?
in India, and they have a major river called the Ganges.
The Ganges River, yes, we'll speak about the Ganges River in a bit.
And the Taj Mahal.
And the Taj Mahal, yeah, very important landmark, yeah.
There's a lot of rain.
A lot of rain, we're going to speak about that too. All right, another group. Robin, what did your group discuss?
We talked about the climate, like there are like very strong winds that go across like the seas near South Asia, which brings like precipitations as well.
All right, strong winds that bring precipitation. We're going to speak about that as well. Adelita, what did your group discuss?
We discussed how it's like regionally divided. So in some places there are quite rich people, but in others they're really poor.
All right, so wealth is not distributed evenly in this region. Yes, that's correct. All right, anyone else want to add?
Very like culturally diverse.
It's extremely culturally diverse, correct? Yeah. Ninja, yes.
Hinduism and Buddhism reminds me of the color fire.
All right, so one of the main religions is Hinduism. Yeah. All right, good start. Okay, so introducing South Asia. South Asia includes countries like India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. The Himalayas separate this region from most of Asia. So between South Asia and the rest of Asia, we find one of the biggest, if not the biggest mountain range in the world, called the Himalayas, which we will also discuss. This region has over 1.8 billion people. In the world in total, there are just over 8 billion people. That means roughly 1 out of 4 people in the world are from South Asia. The major religions include Hinduism and Islam. And monsoon climates strongly influence life and farming. Do I have any questions so far? No? All right, I'll give you another couple of seconds to copy that down. Remember, you don't have to copy down everything, you can just summarize. Okay, moving on. Let's look at the physical map of South Asia, but mainly India. What is the first thing we notice when we look at the physical geography map of South Asia? What's the first thing you guys see? The Himalaya mountain range, yeah? We can see there's a very sudden change in elevation from the northern part of India into the Himalayas. Okay? Let's keep thinking physical geography. What other important physical geography features do you see? Rivers? Okay, you mentioned rivers. Which one is the most important? The Ganges River here. Yes, the Ganges River has immense importance in India. Okay? So, the physical geography of India. We're going to look at the physical geography briefly of each country, and we'll do a couple of exercises. Okay, so the Himalayas formed when the Indian tectonic plate collided with Asia. So India wasn't always attached to Asia, it was its own subcontinent, and it collided into Asia. And that is what formed the Himalaya mountain range. The Ganges River is important for farming, transport, and religion. Okay? So this is one of the most important physical features, physical geographical features of India. And then India experiences monsoon rains. So this is one of our vocabulary words. I will give you the definition shortly, but I first want to ask, does anyone here want to try and define what a monsoon is before I show you? What is a monsoon? Anna?
A strong seasonal wind.
A strong seasonal wind that brings what with it?
Precipitation.
Precipitation, and then in other seasons, dryness. So, very well done. A monsoon, a seasonal shift in prevailing winds that causes distinct wet and dry seasons in tropical and subtropical regions. So the important thing here is the distinct wet and dry seasons. So speaking about these monsoons, how do we think these monsoons can help people? And how do we think they can harm people? What are the positives? What are the negatives correlated to monsoons? What are they? Yes? Floods, yes. So flooding can destroy communities. That is one negative aspect associated with monsoons. What is a positive aspect associated with monsoons?
Can help with agriculture.
Can help with agriculture, yes. So people will specifically farm at that time of the year when they know there's going to be an abundance of water. So monsoons can take lives, but they can also give life to the community. Right? And then lastly, India has a very diverse climate since it has deserts, it has mountains, it has forests, and it even has tropical coastlines. So obviously India is a very big country, and it takes up a lot of land. So therefore we can expect it to have a very diverse climate with many different regions. Couple more seconds, nothing going on. Alright, so I'm going to show you a quick video which highlights how the Himalaya mountain range formed, how the Indian tectonic plate collided into Asia.
มีสุนทรีสุดบาททั่วไทยใกล้ๆแค่ไหนก็ตามไปสุนทรีสุดบาททุกที่
Right, you can see the Indian plate over here. This takes millions and millions of years. And then the formation of the Himalayas. want you to think back to Unit 1 briefly. We get different kinds of tectonic plates. We get those that move away from each other, we get those that move along each other, and we get those that move into each other. The ones where they move into each other result in mountain ranges. Who can remember what that's called? What kind of tectonic plate is that? They move away from each other, they're called divergent. So if they move towards each other, they are called
Inversions.
convergent. Right. Good attempt. Okay. Okay, let's have a group discussion based on the physical geography of India. In groups of 3 to 4, discuss how India's physical geography affects where people live and work. Be prepared to share one idea with the class. Once again, I'm giving you 4 minutes. So, what I want you to do, if you were in a team with one person, just take the team that was next to you, because you were in pairs earlier. Now just combine 2 pairs. All right? You slot in here.
There's a lot of and that helps with fishing. But they also live near the like, no, they live far from the
There's a lot of foreigners, and like, I think we were almost like a whole line of people going up
Just Okay, 3 more minutes.
Civilization where people they need water. Wait, Justin, what's your input?
What did we say?
You said were you not paying attention?
You're the ones who said
I think enough people living in
or at least I hope
people here to get like to build a lot of people.
what's the capital?
I don't know.
How do I not know the capital?
It's not gonna
Just over a minute.
Wow, what a career. Did you write this?
And there's the how do you say
Top.
different
around the river.
Okay. All right. Let's discuss. Rachel, what did your group have to say?
So we said that physical geography affects where people live and work by giving them more resources and build up their economies more. Like people live near the rivers, so they can get more like resources, agriculture and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it can also affect them negatively by some like flooding. other
Okay.
stuff.
Interesting perspective, yes. So physical geography, a physical geography feature such as a river can bring people there and it can benefit them because they'll be able to farm, they'll be able to transport goods easily, they'll even be able to transport themselves easily. But physical geography can also negatively impact you. For example, if there's a flood. Patrick, Catherine, what did your group discuss?
We discussed that they will mostly live near the riverbanks, but the Ganges River.
Ganges, yeah.
So like there's more people there, rather than like if they live in the Himalayas, they won't be able to live there because it's too cold.
Okay. So physical geography can definitely influence where you live. Not many people live deep into the Himalaya mountain range, that's true. Vanessa, what did your group have to say?
You basically said a mix of what Rachel said, but I'd also like to add that they might live near the Himalayas because they have like job opportunities there because people like to go like.
Okay. So tourism, yeah, that can physical geography features often bring tourism along. And Ninja, yes, what did your group discuss?
The Himalayas protect India from the Mongols and the Chinese armies a long time ago. So it affected how people live, how
Okay.
how
Historically,
comfortable
yes.
life.
So historically, the Himalayas were like a barrier for India, yeah? All right. I think that's good. We can move on. Okay, so now we're going to briefly look at the physical geography of Pakistan. Pakistan contains some of the world's highest mountains, including K2. That is the name of the mountain, K2. K2 is the second tallest mountain in the world after... Oh. That's what K2 looks like. It's the second tallest after?
Mount Everest.
Everest, yes, that's the one.
All
Alright, well done. Okay, the Indus River supports farming and settlements in Pakistan. Look, we're finding similarities. India and Pakistan people live along where there are rivers. Pakistan has a diverse climate. It's got deserts, mountains, and dry areas. Now I want you to think, what is similar between the physical geography of India and Pakistan, and what is different? Raise your hand if you have an answer. What are some similarities between the physical geography of India and Pakistan, and what are some differences? MJ.
Similarity is that there's tall mountains and there's like a major rivers supporting nearby areas.
Major rivers and tall mountains, yeah.
And also both have the diverse climate, but Pakistan does not have the tropical.
All right, so they both have diverse climates, but Pakistan does not really have a tropical climate. Well done, very well identified.
More tropical.
Not in Pakistan. All right, so Pakistan does experience a lot of natural disasters, such as floods and even earthquakes. Think about it. Obviously, they experience earthquakes. They are on a fault line. All right, that's what formed the Himalayas. Anywhere in the world where we find fault lines, we tend to have earthquakes. And lastly, for physical geography, we need to look at the physical geography of Bangladesh. Now, Bangladesh is mostly low-lying and highly vulnerable to flooding. Okay, so if you compare Bangladesh and Pakistan, Pakistan is quite elevated compared to Bangladesh. Bangladesh is low-lying and highly vulnerable to flooding. The country lies in the Ganges-Brahmaputra Delta. Okay? Delta. We've spoken about deltas before, but this is one of our vocabulary words. Does anyone want to try and define what a delta is? What is a delta? I'm going to pick someone. Bella, do you want to try tell me what a delta is?
Does it have something to do with water?
Yeah, definitely has something to do with water.
I feel like I know what it is, but I can't discover it.
All right, Justin says he wants to try. Justin, what's a delta?
Where a river ends?
A delta is where a river ends, okay? It's got a couple more unique features to that, but you are correct.
Wow.
So a delta is a fan-shaped or triangular landform created by the deposition of sediment. So when the river flows, it flows quickly. When it gets to either an ocean or a lake, it slows down and all the sand and sediment deposits, all right? At the mouth of a river, as it flows into a shallower moving or standing body of water, such as an ocean, sea, or lake. So it's pretty much where the river ends. Not too long ago, when we did the Africa unit, we also looked at a delta. Can anyone remember what delta that was?
Nile.
The Nile Delta, correct. Okay, so that's what a delta looks like. You can see it's a triangle shape. It's where the river comes to an end and starts depositing sediment. And Bangladesh is one of the most densely populated countries in the world. So India obviously has a larger population, but Bangladesh has a smaller area. So the population density of Bangladesh is extremely high.
So
Yeah.
you know, like if you watch movies or read comics, like you hear Delta Forces, right? So does that mean?
No, delta forces has nothing to do with the geography term delta. All right, I just pulled this up quickly. If we look at Bangladesh, we can see the delta down here. All right, can you guys see that? You can see the delta, the triangle shape of the delta. Okay, let's quickly just have a look at the Nile Delta again. You can see it even better there. So here you can also see the triangle shape where all the sediment deposition is happening. Make sense? All right. Okay. So now we've looked at the physical geography of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. So we have to do a little bit of a worksheet challenge. Okay, you have been provided a worksheet with a table on it. Take one Hassan. Take one Hassan. Take one Hassan. Okay, what I want you to do, you need to fill out the mini comparison chart for India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. You need to compare the climate, the population, major landforms, and the different economic activities that take place in these three different regions. Okay? You may use the textbook.
How about the box?
Use the textbook for now.
We need to fill in every single
Yeah, so just the table. For now, just the table. Section 2 we'll get to later in the lesson. I'll give you about 10 minutes to do this. I first want you to use the textbook. After you use the textbook, I will let you use your device. You'll have about 10 minutes in total.
You just need like a couple words now.
Yeah, just a couple of words. You don't need to write full sentences. Yeah, well, take what you see here and don't see here, and you can mention that in your table. Say, India has, Pakistan has deserts. Yes.
For flying thing, can only fly two types of flying for
Sorry, just say that again. Yep. Yep. Yeah, if there's only two kinds of planets, then you can do that. Well, that's the whole thing, you're comparing them, right? So if there's only two, then that's fine. Right, if you're still struggling to find some of the answers, you can use your device. I'll give you about another 5 or 6 minutes. Alright, most of you seem to be almost done with the table. If you're not quite done yet, there will be a bit more time at the end where you can work on it. but I'm going to move on to the next section. So please, for now, close the textbooks and put away your devices. Alright, so we're going to look at the human geography and a little bit of the history of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. And more specifically, the partition and population changes that took place in this region. Okay? So, new heading in your notebook, human geography. Alright, so India and Pakistan became independent from Britain in 1947. What does that mean? What does that mean that they became independent? They were a colony, okay? So they used to be colonies of Britain. So that changed in 1947. Pakistan was originally split into West and East Pakistan on either side of India. And East Pakistan became Bangladesh in 1971. Alright, so until 1971, we had two different countries. We had West Pakistan, which is today still Pakistan, and East Pakistan. Okay, the partition. Okay, so the partition of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh caused migration, conflict, and many cultural tensions. Another one of our vocabulary words here, migration. Who wants to tell me what migration is? Vijay? Moving on to a different place. All right? But that is now, in this context, applicable to a large group of people. Okay? But you are correct. Migration means moving to a different place. So if we look at the definition here, migration is the permanent, temporary, or seasonal movement of individuals or populations, in this case, from one location or region to another. We've just very briefly touched on the partition of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Just giving you a couple of dates and facts. What are we going to do now? So I'm going to play you a video. Okay? The video is titled "The Partition of India Explained." We have 3 questions. Let's read the questions before, and then afterwards we can answer them together. So firstly, why did Britain decide to divide India in 1947? What reason did they have to separate India into Pakistan and East Pakistan, or West and East Pakistan? Okay? What was the main difference between India and Pakistan after partition? So after it got separated, what was the main difference between the 2 countries, or the 3 countries rather? Okay? And what problems were caused by the partition of India and Pakistan? So, watch the video, pay attention, and then let's answer the questions.
In August 1947, India gained independence after 200 years of British rule. What followed was one of the largest and bloodiest forced migrations in history. An estimated 1 million people lost their lives. Before British colonization, the Indian subcontinent was a patchwork of regional kingdoms known as princely states, populated by Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Jains, Buddhists, Christians, Parsis, and Jews. Each princely state had its own traditions, caste backgrounds, and leadership. Starting in the 1500s, a series of European powers colonized India with coastal trading settlements. By the mid-18th century, the English East India Company emerged as the primary colonial power in India. The British ruled some provinces directly and ruled the princely states indirectly. Under indirect rule, the princely states remained sovereign, but made political and financial concessions to the British. In the 19th century, the British began to categorize Indians by religious identity, a gross simplification of the communities in India. They counted Hindus as majorities, and all other religious communities as distinct minorities, with Muslims being the largest minority. Sikhs were considered part of the Hindu community by everyone but themselves. In elections, people could only vote for candidates of their own religious identification. These practices exaggerated differences, sowing distrust between communities that had previously coexisted. The 20th century began with decades of anti-colonial movements, where Indians fought for independence from Britain. In the aftermath of World War II, under enormous financial strain from the war, Britain finally caved. Indian political leaders had differing views on what an independent India should look like. Mohandas Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru represented the Hindu majority and wanted one united India. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who led the Muslim minority, thought the rifts created by colonization were too deep to repair. Jinnah argued for a two-nation division, where Muslims would have a homeland called Pakistan. Following riots in 1946 and 1947, the British expedited their retreat, planning Indian independence behind closed doors. In June 1947, the British Viceroy announced that India would gain independence by August and be partitioned into Hindu India and Muslim Pakistan, but gave little explanation of how exactly this would happen. Using outdated maps, inaccurate census numbers, and minimal knowledge of the land, in a mere 5 weeks, the Boundary Committee drew a border, dividing 3 provinces under direct British rule: Bengal, Punjab, and Assam. The border took into account where Hindus and Muslims were majority, but also factors like location and population percentages. So if the Hindu majority area bordered another Hindu majority area, it would be included in India. But if the Hindu majority area bordered Muslim majority areas, it might become part of Pakistan. Princely states on the border had to choose which of the new nations to join, losing their sovereignty in the process. While the Boundary Committee worked on the new map, Hindus and Muslims began moving to areas where they thought they'd be a part of the religious majority, but they couldn't be sure. Families divided themselves, fearing sexual violence. Parents sent young daughters and wives to regions they perceived to be safe. The new map wasn't revealed until August 17, 1947, 2 days after independence. The provinces of Punjab and Bengal became the geographically separated East and West Pakistan. The rest became Hindu majority India. In a period of 2 years, millions of Hindus and Sikhs living in Pakistan left for India, while Muslims living in India fled villages where their families had lived for centuries. The cities of Lahore, Delhi, Calcutta, Dhaka, and Karachi emptied of old residents and filled with refugees. In the power vacuum British forces left behind, radicalized militias and local groups massacred migrants. Much of the violence occurred in Punjab, and women bore the brunt of it, suffering rape and mutilation. Around 100,000 women were kidnapped and forced to marry their captors. The problems created by partition went far beyond this immediate deadly aftermath. Many families who made temporary moves became permanently displaced, and borders continued to be disputed. In 1971, East Pakistan seceded and became the new country of Bangladesh. Meanwhile, the Hindu ruler of Kashmir decided to join India, a decision that was to be finalized by a public referendum of the majority Muslim population. That referendum still hasn't happened as of 2020, and India and Pakistan have been warring over Kashmir since 1947. More than 70 years later, the legacies of the partition remain clear in the subcontinent, in its new political formations, and in the memories of divided families. When we read over accounts.
All right, let's answer the questions. Why did Britain decide to divide India in 1947? Justin?
because of stress from the World War.
Alright, so after the Second World War, they were under a lot of financial pressure and they actually gave up most of their colonies. Okay? What was the main difference between India and Pakistan after they were separated? The religion, which was? Alright, so who was Muslim? Pakistan, and then India. Alright. Okay, what problems were caused by the partition of India and Pakistan? Family displacement. Yes, that was one of the major issues. Alright, almost done.
Perspectives of young people have often been left out.
Alright, just last couple of things. So, India has one of the largest populations in the world. We know this. Okay? Urbanization in all three countries is increasing as people move to cities for jobs. This word, urbanization, wants to try to define that. MJ.
No, people moving to urban cities.
Alright, so people moving from rural areas to urban areas, increasing the size of cities. Okay, so urbanization, an increasing proportion of a population moves from rural areas to urban centers, resulting in the growth of cities. So all three of these countries have a rapid growing economy, but they still face major poverty. Alright, then we just have to answer a couple of questions together to end off. What is one similarity between all three of these countries? Anyone? It can be physical or human geography. What is one similarity between these three countries? High populations, yes. Anything else?
Dense population.
Dense populations. Okay. What is one major difference? Religion, definitely. Any other major differences? Elevation, yeah. And the resources. All right, then, on the back of your worksheet, I just need 2 sentences for your exit ticket. Write down one new thing that you learned today. The back of your worksheet, 2 sentences. While you do that, I'm just going to put this on the board. I've posted on Google Classroom. I have 3 homework questions for you pertaining to the environmental geography. I need you to research one environmental issue affecting South Asia, explain how the physical geography contributes to this issue, and suggest one possible solution. Once you are done writing your exit ticket, you can pack up and put your textbooks back where you found them. Thank you.